Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're going to be talking about the differences between cleansing a crystal and charging a crystal. There is a huge difference, and most people get it wrong. That's right. Most people do not understand the difference between cleansing a crystal and charging a crystal, and they have different functions and they have different reasons why. So it's one of those, it's important to understand what is the purpose of your crystal to begin with. Like, is it a crystal that you're going to wear for protection? Is it a crystal that you're going to wear to kind of amplify your energy? Is it a crystal that you're going to be wearing for some other purpose or reason, like I'm going to be around a lot of people and I want to keep my energy protected, or I'm going to meet with someone who normally has some really negative energy? All of those crystals are going to have maybe some similarities to them, but they're not going to be cleansed or charged exactly the same way. I know people are like, what? I know, totally that way. So kind of the basics of it is, when you cleanse a crystal, you are removing stale negative energy from the inside of a crystal. And when you do that, I will tell you that this is kind of one of those, the best way to put cleansing a crystal is kind of like it's removing the negative energy that's built up or trapped within the vibrations of the crystal. Every crystal has its own vibration and its own way of working through things. And so I will tell you, kind of like, once you kind of get the energy of that, kind of like, okay, so everyone has a little bit different energy. And this is kind of a great way to kind of step into that energy in a different way. And I often think of my crystals as like a vacuum. So old school or new school or anything else, whenever you vacuum up something, when you're vacuuming your house kind of crazily and everything else, that bag or that canister gets full. And that's what happens to our crystals. And eventually we've got to cleanse them out, or we need to dump all that dirt and debris that it's picked up, all that negative energy that it's picked up. So we've got to cleanse that crystal really, really well. So So cleansing the crystal can be some different ways of doing it. And it can be it could be something simple. It could be something like more elaborate, but we want to make sure that it has the right energy with it when we're dealing with it in that way, when we're cleansing it. So we want to really think about like how we're going to clean this out. This could be sunlight, moonlight, water, salt, dirt, sand. Any of those can cleanse a crystal, and it really can remove a lot of that energy. Some of them are better for certain crystals, and some of them are kind of worse for certain crystals. And it really depends on the hardness of the crystal and what is like kind of stuck in there. Because of that, when you cleanse a crystal, basically a crystal in that terminology is more like a battery. And the battery is really kind of like when it was in Mother Earth, before someone pulled it out of the cave or out of this rock or whatever else, it was being charged by Mother Earth like a battery. It's constantly getting its charge putting in there. So this is the best way to think about it, is when it's being charged like that, once it's removed, it's not getting its kind of normal charge. So eventually it's going to lose its kind of like its power with it. And it's going to be a slow taper off. And that usually means when your crystal is getting like, you feel sluggish around it, or you put it on and you kind of like, well, it doesn't feel like it's as strong as it used to be, or it feels like it's stuck with a whole bunch of stuff. That's when you've got to really go in there and recharge it. So you would cleanse it first, and then you would recharge your crystal. So when you charge your crystal, you want to think about it as like rebooting that battery. So where did it come from? Mother Earth. So you could bury your crystal in dirt and leave it there for a couple of days and kind of let Mother Earth kind of like recharge that. You could put it into water, and that can recharge it because it's got that Mother Earth energy in there. So really we want to do that and kind of amplify the energy, the charging of it already. Most crystals are kind of somewhat self-cleansing unless you constantly use them. And then it's like, okay, now I really have to be cleansed. And this is one of those really important things. Once we kind of learn how to cleanse our crystals and what's important for it, it will make things so much easier. The way you cleanse onyx is different than you would clean a Lorimar. And it doesn't mean that one's good or bad. It just depends on the stone. Like, how are you going to cleanse that stone, or how are you going to charge that stone with that energy? Once you finish charging the stone, then you want to embed your own energy. And that's where you come in, like, what is the purpose of that stone? Why are you going to be wearing that stone? Is it to clear out negative energy? Is it going to clear out something else? Is there something else that you're looking for in that energy that you can kind of take advantage of? Is it got very protective skills? So then you're like, oh, I can use this for protection when I'm around negative energy. Maybe it's not necessarily one person's negative energy, but I need to just keep this bubble of cleansed energy around me as I go to an event with a whole bunch of other people. That's a different kind of cleanse, or a different type of energy that I would require from that stone. So everyone has an amazing energy and an amazing way of working with our energy. So it's really important that you find the right crystal, the right stone that has the right interaction with you to kind of really work on what you really require from that stone, because it's kind of like, it's like wearing high heel shoes to a rodeo. May look cute, but it's not going to work. Or wearing cowboy boots to a formal event. It may look cute for a while, but it's going to look weird eventually. It's like, something doesn't work right here. And so it's kind of finding that right energy and that right balance between cleansing and charging your crystals, and finding the right crystals for what you require from it. So let's pull some angel cards. This one right here is popping out. And fall in love with your star. Your stones. Your stones should be something that you're like, oh my gosh, in love with. I think crystals are just amazing, and I love so many of them. And then there's some that I get around and I'm like, I love you, but you're just not for me. So you've got to find crystals that you love and their energy loves you. It is going to make things so much easier that way, and kind of a great way to kind of just find that insight. This one is coming up next. Harmony. You have to be in harmony with that stone. You have to be in harmony with what that stone does, how it works, that sort of thing. And it doesn't mean you need to get like 15 different stones from different areas or whatever else. Sometimes it's just the same stone. Sometimes getting 2 or 3 of the same type of stone that you can interchange every day or every few days is going to really help you more than having like 15 different stones. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, I'd use this for this and this for this. But it's one of those that can also amplify your energy. And one of the secret hints that I have found is I always pick my crystal first and then my clothes. So my crystal and my clothes always match, because the crystal comes first and then the clothes come second. It's an easier way to do it that way, instead of doing it the opposite way around and then trying to find a crystal that matches the energy that I require for the day with the outfit that I'm wearing. It just makes life easier. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.